Kwon Dae-jung had killed 17 men without blinking, built a criminal empire across 3 states, and hadn't felt his heart beat fast in 5 years, until the Zimbabwean dancer looked him dead in the eye and said no. No man had ever heard that word from his lips. No woman had ever dared to refuse him. But Erika just turned and walked away, like he was nobody. That's when he made the call that would change everything. Bring her to me, willing or not. What he didn't know was that kidnapping this woman would start a war he couldn't win, because you can't cage a wildfire without getting burned. The red lights of the club pulsed like a heartbeat. Kwon Dae-jung sat in the shadows of the VIP section, watching everything below with cold eyes. He was the most feared Korean mafia boss in Los Angeles, and everyone knew it. Men moved out of his way. Women tried to catch his attention, but nothing interested him anymore. Life had become boring, predictable, empty. Then she walked onto the stage. The music started, slow and deep. Erika moved like water, her dark skin glowing under the lights. She was from Zimbabwe, though Kwon didn't know that yet. All he knew was that she was different. Every other dancer looked at the crowd with fake smiles or dead eyes. But this woman danced like she was alone in her bedroom, like the 100 people watching didn't matter at all. Kwon leaned forward. His heart, which hadn't beat fast in years, suddenly pounded. When her performance ended, she looked directly at him. Most people looked away when they met his gaze. They felt the danger rolling off him like smoke, but Erika stared right back. Her chin lifted. Her eyes challenged him. Then she turned and walked off stage. "Bring her to me," Kwon said quietly. His head guard, Seung-min, nodded and disappeared. 5 minutes later, he returned, half dragging Erika behind him. She yanked her arm free and straightened her short red dress. Her face was angry, not scared. "You wanted to see me?" Her accent was thick and beautiful. "Well, here I am. Look all you want." Kwon stood slowly. He was tall, dressed in an expensive black suit. His face was sharp and handsome, but his eyes were hard. "Sit." "I'd rather stand." No one ever said no to him. Ever. Kwon felt something strange in his chest. Interest. Real interest. "I want you for the night. Name your price." Erika laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "I'm a dancer, not a prostitute. And you can't buy me. Everyone has a price. Not me." She turned to leave. Kwon moved fast, grabbing her wrist. The touch sent electricity through both of them. "I always get what I want." "Then tonight will be a new experience for you." She tried to pull away, but his grip was iron. The challenge in her eyes did something to him, something dangerous. Kwon had killed men for less disrespect, but he didn't want to hurt her. He wanted to possess her, own her, break down that pride until she begged him for everything. "Seung-min, bring the car around. She's coming with us." "What?" Erika's eyes went wide. "You can't just take me. Watch me." 2 more guards appeared. Erika fought like a wildcat, screaming and kicking. But Kwon's men were professionals. They lifted her easily, carrying her toward the back exit. The club owner saw what was happening and looked away. No one interfered with Kwon Dae-jung's business. Ever. Outside, a black SUV waited. They pushed Erika into the back seat. Kwon slid in beside her, and the door locked automatically. The car pulled into Los Angeles traffic, heading toward Beverly Hills. "This is kidnapping!" Erika shouted. "I'll call the police." "The police work for me, sweetheart." Kwon's voice was calm, too calm. "You should have just taken the money. Let me out of this car right now." "No." Erika grabbed the door handle and yanked. Nothing happened. She pounded on the window. The driver didn't even look back. Trapped, she turned to Kwon with pure fury in her eyes. "What kind of man are you? You just steal women off the street?" "I'm the kind of man who takes what he wants, and I want you." "Well, I don't want you." But even as she said it, her body betrayed her. When Kwon leaned closer, she felt her breath catch. His cologne smelled like expensive wood and danger. His eyes traveled down her body slowly, like he was already undressing her in his mind. "Your mouth says no," he whispered, "but your body says something different." "You're insane." "Maybe." Kwon smiled, and it was the smile of a predator. "But you'll still be in my bed by morning." The confidence in his voice made Erika want to slap him. But more than that, it made her feel something she didn't want to feel. Heat, curiosity, a dark excitement she couldn't explain. This man was dangerous. Criminal. He'd just kidnapped her. She should be purely terrified, so why was part of her thrilled? The SUV climbed into the hills. Massive houses appeared on both sides of the road, each one bigger than the last. Finally, they turned into a long driveway. Gates opened automatically. The mansion at the end looked like a palace. White stone, tall windows, fountains in the front yard. "Welcome home," Kwon said. "This isn't my home." The car stopped. Guards opened the doors. Kwon stepped out and offered his hand. Erika ignored it, climbing out on her own. She looked around, trying to figure out which way to run, but guards stood everywhere. Escape was impossible. "Come inside." Kwon walked toward the front door. "And if I refuse?" He turned back, his face dangerous. "Then my men will carry you, your choice." Erika's hands shook with rage, but she followed him, her high heels clicking on the marble floor of the entrance. Inside, the mansion was even more beautiful. Crystal chandeliers, expensive paintings. Furniture that probably cost more than she made in a year. A maid appeared, bowing to Kwon. He said something in Korean. The maid nodded and approached Erika. "She'll show you to your room," Kwon said. "My prison, you mean. Call it whatever you want." He loosened his tie, looking tired suddenly. "You'll stay on the second floor, east wing. Don't try to leave. My men are everywhere." "Why are you doing this?" Kwon looked at her for a long moment. "Because when I saw you tonight, I felt something, and I haven't felt anything in a very long time. That's not a reason to kidnap someone. It is for me." He started to walk away, then paused. "Get some rest. Tomorrow we'll talk." "I have nothing to say to you." Kwon just smiled and disappeared down a hallway. The maid touched Erika's arm gently, trying to guide her upstairs. But Erika stood frozen, her mind racing. This couldn't be happening. Things like this didn't happen in real life. Rich, handsome criminals didn't just take women home like objects, except this one did. The maid led her up a curved staircase. The second floor was just as impressive as the first. They walked down a long hallway and stopped at a door. The maid opened it, revealing a bedroom bigger than Erika's entire apartment. A massive bed sat in the center, covered in silk sheets. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the lights of Los Angeles below. The maid said something in Korean, bowed, and left. The door closed. Erika heard a lock click. She ran to the door and twisted the handle. Locked. She pounded on it. "Let me out! You can't do this!" No one answered. Erika checked the windows next. They were 3 stories up. And there was no balcony, no way to climb down. She was truly trapped. Panic rose in her chest. She grabbed an expensive vase from a table and threw it at the wall. It shattered with a satisfying crash. She threw another one, and another. Breaking things felt good, made her feel less helpless. Finally, exhausted, she sat on the bed. Her mind spun. Who was this man really? What did he want from her? And why, despite everything, did part of her want to see him again? Hours passed. Erika didn't sleep. She sat by the window, watching the city lights, planning her escape. When morning came, she would find a way out. She would go to the police, the FBI, anyone who would listen. Kwon Dae-jung would pay for what he'd done. But deep down, a small voice whispered that this was just the beginning. That her life had changed forever the moment their eyes met across that crowded club. And no matter how much she wanted to deny it, she knew it was true. At dawn, footsteps approached her door. The lock clicked. Kwon stepped inside, wearing casual clothes now. Jeans, a tight black shirt that showed his muscular arms. His hair was messy, like he'd been running his hands through it all night. "Did you sleep?" he asked. Erika stood, crossing her arms. "What do you think?" Kwon saw the broken vases, the damaged wall. Instead of getting angry, he almost smiled. "You have spirit. Good. I hate boring women." "I'm not here to entertain you." "No?" He walked closer, and the room suddenly felt smaller. "Then why are you here?" "Because you kidnapped me." "True." Another step closer. "But you could have screamed more in the club, run harder, fought my guards better. Part of you wanted to come." "That's crazy." "Is it?" Kwon was right in front of her now, close enough to touch. "Tell me you didn't feel it too. That moment when our eyes met. The electricity, the pull." Erika's heart raced. "I felt nothing." "Liar." He reached up slowly, giving her time to move away, but she didn't. His fingers touched her cheek, gentle despite his rough hands. The touch sent shivers down her spine. Erika's breath caught. "I'm going to keep you here until you admit the truth," Kwon whispered. "That you want this as much as I do." "Never." "We'll see." Then, before she could react, before she could think, Erika pulled her hand back and slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed through the room like a gunshot. If you're hooked on Kwon and Erika's dangerous love story, smash that like button right now. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our intense romance stories. And drop a comment below. Do you think Erika should run or stay? Team escape or team obsession? Let's see what you think. Kwon's head snapped to the side. His cheek turned red. Behind him, guards rushed in, reaching for their weapons. But Kwon held up a hand, stopping them. Slowly, he turned back to Erika. His eyes blazed with something wild, something dangerous and exciting. He touched his cheek and laughed. Actually laughed. "No one has ever hit me before," he said. "No one has ever dared." "Well, congratulations on your first time." Kwon's smile grew. "You're magnificent." Then he turned and walked out, leaving Erika standing there, confused and angry, and to her horror, wanting him to come back. 3 days had passed since the slap. 3 days of Erika locked in luxury she didn't want. The bedroom was beautiful, but it was still a cage. Every morning, maids brought her breakfast. Every afternoon, new clothes appeared in the closet. Designer dresses, silk pajamas, everything expensive and perfect. Erika destroyed it all. She ripped the dresses to pieces, threw the breakfast trays at the walls, smashed every decorative item she could find. The maids cleaned it up without comment, their faces blank. Then new things would appear the next day and the cycle would start again. Kwon visited every evening. He would knock once, then enter whether she answered or not. Sometimes he brought flowers, sometimes wine, sometimes just himself. Erika refused everything. "You can't keep me here forever," she said on the 4th night. Kwon sat in the chair by the window, completely relaxed. "I can keep you here as long as I want. People will look for me. I have friends, family back in Zimbabwe who expect to hear from me. I've already handled that. Your club manager thinks you quit and went to New York. Your roommate received a text from your phone saying the same thing." Erika's blood ran cold. "You went through my phone?" "Of course. I needed to make sure no one would worry." He said it so casually, like invading her privacy was nothing. "You're mine now. The sooner you accept that, the easier this will be." "I'm not yours. I'm not anyone's." "Keep telling yourself that." His confidence made her want to scream. But beneath the anger was something else. Confusion. Because despite everything, Kwon never touched her without permission, never forced himself on her. He just watched her with those intense dark eyes, like he could see straight into her soul. "Why are you doing this?" Erika asked quietly. "You could have any woman you want, women who would actually choose to be here." Kwon was silent for a long moment. "Those women bore me. They see my money and power and throw themselves at me, but you saw me and didn't care. You looked at me like I was just a man, nothing special. No one has ever looked at me that way. Maybe because you're a criminal who kidnaps people. I am what I am." He stood and walked to the door. "Good night, Erika." "How do you even know my name?" "I know everything about you. Erika Nkomo, 25 years old, born in Harare. Came to America 3 years ago on a work visa. You send half your money home to your mother and little sister. You were studying accounting before you ran out of money and had to drop out. You dance because it pays well, not because you love it. You dream of opening your own business someday. A restaurant, maybe. Or a boutique." Erika stared at him horrified. "You investigated me." "Of course. I don't take strangers into my home without knowing who they are. I'm not in your home by choice. Not yet." He smiled slightly. "But you will be." After he left, Erika sat in the darkness thinking. This man was dangerous in ways she hadn't imagined. He wasn't just physically powerful, he was smart, patient, and he seemed to genuinely believe she would eventually want to stay. The thought terrified her, because late at night, alone in the big bed, she sometimes wondered what it would be like to give in, to stop fighting. To let Kwon have whatever he wanted from her. Those thoughts made her hate herself. On the 5th day, Kwon did something different. He knocked and waited for her to say, "Come in," before entering. In his hands was a laptop. "What's that for?" Erika asked suspiciously. "You must be bored. I thought you might want to watch something. Read the news, whatever you like." He set it on the desk. "The internet is restricted, so you can't email anyone or call for help, but you can browse." "How generous of you." "I'm not a monster, Erika. I just want you to stay." "Those two things aren't as different as you think." Kwon sighed. "Will you have dinner with me tonight? Downstairs, in the dining room, like normal people." "We're not normal people." "You're my kidnapper. Have dinner with me anyway. And if I refuse, then I'll eat alone and you'll eat in this room, like every other night." He moved toward the door, then paused. "But I think you're going crazy up here. I think you want to see more of the house, walk around, breathe different air, have a conversation that doesn't end in anger." Erika hated that he was right. She was going crazy. The walls were closing in. "Fine, dinner, but I'm not dressing up for you. Wear whatever you want." That evening, a maid came to escort her downstairs. Erika wore simple jeans and a t-shirt, refusing to touch the fancy dresses in the closet. The maid led her through hallways she hadn't seen before. The mansion was enormous, room after room of wealth and beauty. The dining room looked like something from a palace. A long table, crystal glasses, candles everywhere. Kwon stood when she entered, dressed in dark slacks and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He looked younger somehow, less dangerous. "You came," he said. "I was hungry." "Of course." He pulled out a chair for her. Erika hesitated, then sat. Kwon took the seat beside her, not at the head of the table. Close enough to talk, close enough to touch if either of them wanted. Servers brought food, steak, vegetables, wine. It smelled amazing. Erika realized she'd barely eaten the meals sent to her room. She'd been too angry to have an appetite. "Tell me about Zimbabwe," Kwon said as they ate. "Why do you care?" "Because I want to know you." "You investigated me. You already know everything." "I know facts. I want to know the real you. The things that don't show up in a background check." Erika put down her fork. "You're insane. You know that, right? You can't kidnap someone and then expect them to have pleasant dinner conversation." "I can try." Despite herself, Erika laughed. It was a bitter sound, but it was still a laugh. "You're unbelievable. I've been called worse." Kwon smiled, and for a moment he looked almost normal. Almost like someone she could have met in a regular way. "Please, tell me something real, something true. I'll trade you. For every story you give me, I'll give you one back." Why would I want your stories? Because you're curious about me. I see it in your eyes when I come to your room. You want to know who I really am, what made me this way. Erika wanted to deny it, but she couldn't, because he was right. She was curious. Horribly, dangerously curious. Fine, one story. My mother used to make this bread when I was little. It was sweet and dense, and she'd only make it on special occasions, birthdays, holidays. When I left Zimbabwe, that bread was the thing I missed most. More than anything else. Kwon listened carefully. Have you found it here, in Los Angeles? No. American bread is different. Everything here is different. I understand that feeling. My family came from Seoul when I was 10. I spent years feeling like I didn't belong anywhere. Not in Korea anymore. Not in America yet. Just floating between two worlds. Is that why you became a criminal? Kwon's jaw tightened. That's a different story. One I'm not ready to tell yet. They ate in silence for a while. Then Kwon asked about her sister, her mother, her life before America. And slowly, carefully, Erika found herself talking, really talking. She told him about the struggles back home, the way she'd dreamed of America as a paradise, only to discover it was just as hard in different ways. The loneliness, the constant work, the fear of failing. Kwon listened to everything. He didn't interrupt, didn't judge. Just listened like her words mattered. Your turn, Erika said finally. Tell me something real. Kwon refilled their wine glasses. When I was 15, my father was killed by a rival gang. They left his body in the street like garbage. My mother never recovered. She died 2 years later from sadness. I had a little brother. He was only 8. I raised him myself. Did whatever I had to do to keep us alive. Eventually, I joined the organization that killed my father, worked my way up, and when I was strong enough, I destroyed everyone responsible. The pain in his voice was real, raw. Erika felt something shift in her chest. Where's your brother now? Dead, 5 years ago. Wrong place, wrong time. A shootout he had nothing to do with. Kwon stared at his wine. I've lost everyone I ever loved, so I stopped loving. It's easier that way. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. It's just life. No, it's what you've made life into. Kwon looked at her then, really looked at her. Maybe you're right. The moment stretched between them, heavy, charged. Erika felt her heart beating faster. This was wrong. She shouldn't feel sympathy for him, shouldn't want to reach across the table and touch his hand. But she did. Instead, she stood abruptly. I should go back to my room. Stay, please. Kwon stood too. We could talk more or watch a movie. Or just sit. I won't touch you, I promise. Why do you even want me here? Because you make me feel human again. The honesty in his voice broke something in Erika. All her anger, all her defenses cracked just a little. This can't work. Whatever you think this is, it can't work. Why not? Because you kidnapped me. Because you're a criminal. Because this whole situation is crazy. I know. Kwon moved closer. Not touching, but close enough that she could feel the heat from his body. I know it's crazy. I know it's wrong, but I can't let you go. I physically cannot make myself do it. You have to. I won't. They stood there, inches apart, both breathing hard. The air between them felt electric, dangerous, full of possibilities neither of them wanted to name. I hate you, Erika whispered. I know. I hate that you did this to me. I know. I hate that I don't hate you as much as I should. Kwon's eyes darkened. What? Erika's hands shook. You heard me. Say it again. No, Erika. Her name on his lips sounded like a prayer. Say it again. I can't. But even as she said it, she swayed toward him, her body betraying her mind. This is wrong. I don't care. I do. Then leave. Walk away right now. I won't stop you. Erika knew it was a test, knew he was calling her bluff. She should walk away, should run upstairs and lock herself in the bedroom, should never come down again. Instead, she grabbed his shirt and pulled him toward her. Their lips met in a crash, not gentle, not sweet. Pure fire and fury and frustration. Kwon's hands went to her waist, pulling her closer. Erika kissed him like she was angry, because she was. Angry at him, angry at herself, angry at the universe for making her want someone she should hate. Kwon kissed her back with equal intensity. His hands moved to her hair, tangling in the thick curls. They stumbled backward until Erika's back hit the wall. The kiss deepened, became something wild and out of control. Then Erika shoved him away, breathing hard. No, we can't. Kwon stepped back immediately, his chest heaving. Why not? Because this is exactly what you want. You want me to give in, to surrender, to become just another woman in your collection. You could never be just another anything. Pretty words don't change what you did. I know. Kwon ran his hands through his hair, frustrated. I know what I did was wrong, but I'm not sorry. I can't be sorry for the only decision that's made me feel alive in years. That's not love. That's obsession. Maybe they're the same thing. Erika shook her head and walked toward the door. I'm going back to my room. Erika, wait. No, this was a mistake. All of it. She practically ran through the hallways, the maid hurrying to keep up. Back in her bedroom, Erika locked the door and leaned against it, her whole body shaking. She touched her lips. They still tingled from the kiss, still burned with the memory of his mouth on hers. This couldn't happen. She couldn't fall for her kidnapper. That was sick, wrong, impossible. But her body didn't care about logic. It wanted more, wanted him. And that terrified her more than anything else. Days passed. Kwon didn't visit. Erika told herself she was relieved, but really she felt hollow. Empty. She caught herself listening for his footsteps every evening, disappointed when they never came. On the 10th day, Kwon knocked. Erika's heart jumped. What do you want? I have business in San Francisco tomorrow. I'm taking you with me. Why would I go anywhere with you? Because you're going stir-crazy in this house. Because you need to see the sky and breathe fresh air. Because I'm asking you to come, not ordering you. Erika opened the door. Kwon looked tired, like he hadn't slept well. Good. She hoped he was suffering. If I come, you have to promise me something. What? No more locks. No more guards following me everywhere. If I'm going to San Francisco, I want to feel like a person, not a prisoner. Kwon was quiet for a long moment. Okay, but you have to promise not to run. Why would I promise that? Because I'm trusting you, and I want you to trust me back. Erika studied his face. Fine, I promise not to run in San Francisco, but this doesn't mean I forgive you. I know. Kwon smiled slightly. But it's a start. The next morning, they flew to San Francisco on Kwon's private jet. Erika tried not to be impressed by the luxury, but it was hard. She'd never been on a plane this nice. Leather seats, a bedroom in the back, food and drinks brought by attentive staff. Kwon worked on his laptop most of the flight. Business things Erika didn't understand. But occasionally he would look up and their eyes would meet. Each time, electricity shot through her. In San Francisco, they stayed at a penthouse hotel. The view was incredible. The Golden Gate Bridge in the distance. The bay sparkling in the sunlight. Kwon had meetings all afternoon, so Erika explored the city. True to his word, no guards followed her. She could have run, should have run. But she'd made a promise. And strangely, she found herself wanting to keep it. That night, they had dinner at the hotel restaurant. Kwon was different here, more relaxed. He told her about his meetings, made her laugh with stories about the stubborn businessman he'd negotiated with. For a few hours, they were just two people enjoying each other's company. Thank you for not running today, Kwon said as they walked back to the penthouse. I promised I wouldn't. I know, But you could have broken that promise. I would never have found you if you'd really wanted to disappear. Erika stopped walking. Why are you saying this? Because I need you to know something. I don't want you to stay because you're trapped. I want you to stay because you choose to. And if you want to leave, really leave, I'll let you go. You're lying. I'm not. Kwon turned to face her. I'll give you money, a new identity if you need it. I'll make sure you're safe and set up wherever you want to go. Just say the word. Erika's mind reeled. Why? Why would you do that? Because keeping you prisoner isn't keeping you at all. I want you to be here because you want me as much as I want you, or not at all. They stood in the hallway outside the penthouse, the moment stretching between them. Erika knew this was her chance, her way out. All she had to do was say yes and she'd be free, but the word wouldn't come. I don't know what I want, she whispered finally. Then stay until you figure it out. No locks, no guards. Just you and me getting to know each other, like normal people. We're not normal people. No, Kwon smiled, but we could pretend for a while. Erika nodded slowly. Okay, I'll stay, for now. They entered the penthouse together. It was late. The city lights sparkled below. Kwon poured them both wine and they stood by the window, looking out at San Francisco. Tell me something you've never told anyone, Erika said suddenly. Kwon glanced at her. Why? Because you know all my secrets. I want to know one of yours. He was quiet for so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, I'm lonely. Every minute of every day. I'm surrounded by people, but I'm completely alone. And I have been for years. The confession was so raw, so real, that Erika felt tears sting her eyes. I'm lonely too. I know. I saw it in you that first night. That's why I couldn't look away. They turned to each other at the same time. The air between them crackled. Erika knew what was about to happen, knew she should stop it, but she didn't want to. Not anymore. Are you sure? Kwon whispered. Because if we do this, everything changes. I'm not sure of anything, but I'm tired of fighting. That was all the permission Kwon needed. He kissed her slowly this time, deeply. His hands cupped her face like she was precious, breakable. Erika melted into him, all her defenses finally crumbling. They moved to the bedroom, clothes disappearing along the way. The city lights cast shadows across the bed. Kwon touched her like she was a miracle, like he couldn't believe she was real, and Erika touched him back, learning the shape of his body, the scars that told stories he'd never speak out loud. When they came together, it was intense and passionate and perfect. Every touch sent fire through her veins. Every kiss made her forget why she'd ever resisted. They moved together like they'd been made for each other, like this had always been inevitable. Afterward, they lay tangled in the sheets, breathing hard. Kwon held her close, his face buried in her hair. Stay, he whispered. Please stay. Erika knew she should say no, should push him away, should remember that this had all started with him taking her against her will. But in that moment, none of it mattered. Okay, she whispered back. I'll stay. And even though part of her knew it was wrong, another part felt like she'd finally come home. Morning light filtered through the hotel windows. Erika woke up wrapped in expensive sheets and Kwon's arms. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then reality crashed back. She'd slept with her kidnapper. More than that, she'd enjoyed it, wanted it. And now she didn't know who she was anymore. Kwon stirred beside her, his eyes opening slowly. When he saw her, he smiled, a real smile, not the dangerous smirk she was used to. The smile was soft, vulnerable. Good morning, he said quietly. Morning. Erika pulled the sheet higher, suddenly feeling exposed in more ways than one. Regrets? Kwon asked, reading her face too easily. I don't know yet. She sat up, running her hands through her wild hair. This is complicated. It doesn't have to be. Yes, it does. You kidnapped me, Kwon. One night together doesn't erase that. His face hardened slightly. I know what I did, but I can't change the past. I can only show you who I am now. Who I want to be for you. And who's that? Someone worthy of you staying. Erika wanted to be angry, wanted to feel nothing. But looking at him in the soft morning light, seeing the hope in his eyes, she felt herself softening. I need time to figure out what I'm feeling, what this means. Take all the time you need. Kwon reached for her hand, threading his fingers through hers. I'm not going anywhere. They flew back to Los Angeles that afternoon. The mansion felt different now, less like a prison, more like a place full of possibilities. Kwon gave her free access to everything. No more locked doors, no more guards watching her every move. What are you doing? She asked when he handed her a key card. This opens every door in the house. You're not my prisoner anymore, Erika. You're my guest, my partner. Whatever you want to be. Why the sudden change? Because last night showed me something. I don't want you trapped here. I want you to choose to be here. There's a difference. Over the next week, they fell into a strange routine. Kwon worked during the day, handling his mysterious business. Erika explored the mansion, read books from his enormous library, swam in the pool. In the evenings, they had dinner together, talked, learned each other. Kwon told her about his empire, not the violent details, but the structure, the businesses, the network of people who worked for him. He was more than just a criminal. He was a businessman who operated outside the law. Erika told him about her dreams, the restaurant she wanted to open, the life she wanted to build, and Kwon listened like her dreams were the most important thing in the world. But beneath the calm surface, danger lurked. Erika didn't know it yet, but Kwon's enemies were watching, noticing that the untouchable mafia boss suddenly had a weakness, a woman he cared about, a target. 2 weeks after San Francisco, everything changed. Kwon came home covered in blood, not his blood, but someone else's. Erika was reading in the living room when he walked in, his white shirt stained red, his face hard and cold. What happened? She dropped her book, rushing to him. Business, nothing for you to worry about. You're covered in blood. I said it's handled. His voice was sharp, angry. This was the Kwon from that first night. Dangerous, unpredictable. Erika should have backed away. Instead, she grabbed his arm. Tell me what happened. Kwon looked at her for a long moment, then his face softened slightly. A traitor. Someone who's been stealing from me for months. I dealt with it. You killed him. Yes. The simple answer sent chills down Erika's spine. This was the reality of Kwon's world. Violence, death, blood. She'd been living in a bubble pretending he was just a regular man with a dangerous job, but he wasn't. He was a killer. I should be scared of you, she whispered. Are you? Erika examined her feelings. No, I should be, but I'm not. Why not? Because I know you'd never hurt me. You'd burn the world down before you let anyone touch me. Kwon's eyes darkened. You're right. I would. He pulled her close then, kissing her hard. Desperate. Like he needed to prove he was still human. Still capable of feeling something other than rage. Erika kissed him back, tasting the danger on his lips. They stumbled toward his bedroom, shedding clothes along the way. That night was different from San Francisco, rougher, more intense. Kwon took her like he was claiming her, marking her as his, and Erika led him, meeting his intensity with her own. They moved together with fury and passion, the violence of his world bleeding into their connection. Afterward, Erika cleaned the blood from his hands and face, gentle, careful, like she was healing him. Kwon watched her with something like wonder. How can you touch me after what I just told you? He asked quietly. Because I see all of you, the monster and the man, and I'm still here. You shouldn't be. Probably not. Erika smiled sadly. But here I am anyway. Over the next month, they grew closer. Kwon took her everywhere. Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland. His penthouse in Seattle had an incredible view of the water. They spent long weekends there, mixing his business with their growing relationship. In Seattle, Erika met some of Kwon's associates, hard men with cold eyes who treated Kwon like a king. But when they saw how he looked at Erika, how he touched her like she was precious, their attitudes shifted. They started treating her with respect, too, like she mattered. "Your people accept me," Erika said one night. "Of course they do. You're mine. That makes you untouchable." "I'm not yours, Kwon. I'm my own person." "You know what I mean?" "Do I?" Kwon turned to face her, serious. "You're the most important thing in my life. Everyone knows that, which means you're protected, respected, safe. Unless someone wants to use me against you, that won't happen." But Erika wasn't so sure. She'd seen the way some of Kwon's enemies looked at her during business meetings, with calculation, like they were already planning how to exploit his weakness. She was right to worry. One night in Portland, where Kwon had taken her for a quick business trip, Erika made a mistake. She went out to get coffee while Kwon was in a meeting. Just a quick walk. Nothing dangerous. Except it was. She returned to find the hotel room ransacked, a note on the bed. "We know about the girl. She's your weakness, and we'll use her to destroy you." When Kwon saw the note, his face went pale, then red with rage. He grabbed his phone, barking orders in Korean. Within minutes, guards surrounded the hotel, but the damage was done. Kwon's enemies knew about Erika. "Pack your things," Kwon said, his voice tight. "We're leaving. Now." "What's happening?" "Someone threatened you, which means they've declared war on me." Back in Los Angeles, the mansion became a fortress. Guards everywhere, security systems activated. Kwon barely left her side. He was terrified, though he tried to hide it. "This is because of me," Erika said one night. "No, this is because of my world, my choices, my enemies. But they're targeting me to hurt you, which is why I'll kill anyone who tries to touch you." There was no exaggeration in Kwon's voice, just cold fact. Days passed in tense silence. Then one evening, Kwon burst into the bedroom where Erika was reading. His face was hard, dangerous. "We have a problem. One of my lieutenants has been feeding information to my enemies. He knows everything about you, where you go, what you do. He's been planning to take you." "How do you know?" "Because I just tortured it out of him." Erika felt sick. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to make an example of him. Show my enemies what happens when they threaten what's mine." "Kwon, wait." "No waiting. This ends tonight." He left before she could argue. Erika paced the bedroom, her mind racing. This was the reality of loving a man like Kwon. Violence, danger, blood. She should run, should pack her bags and disappear while he was distracted. But she couldn't, because despite everything, she loved him. Somehow, impossibly, she'd fallen in love with her kidnapper. Hours later, Kwon returned. He was covered in blood again. His face was bruised, his knuckles were split, but he was alive. "It's done," he said quietly. "They won't threaten you again." Erika didn't ask for details. She just went to him, wrapping her arms around his waist. "Are you hurt?" "Nothing serious." She led him to the bathroom, starting the shower. He stripped down, revealing more bruises, cuts, evidence of the fight. Erika undressed too, joining him under the hot water. She washed the blood from his skin gently, carefully, like she was washing away the violence. Kwon leaned against the tile, letting her care for him. "You should leave me," he whispered. "I'm no good for you." "Probably. But you're staying anyway." "Yes." "Why?" Erika looked up at him, water streaming down her face. "Because I love you. God help me, but I love you. Kwon's eyes widened. What? You heard me. I love you. I don't want to. I shouldn't. But I do. He grabbed her face, kissing her desperately. The water poured over them both as they clung to each other. Kwon lifted her, pressing her against the tile wall. They came together there in the shower, urgent and desperate and perfect. Later, dried off and in bed, Kwon held her close. I love you too. I've loved you since that first night when you slapped me, maybe even before that. This is crazy. I know. We're completely insane. I know that too. Kwon kissed her forehead. But I don't care. You're mine, Erika, and I'm yours. For as long as you'll have me. Promise me something. Anything. Promise you'll never lie to me, no matter how bad the truth is. I need honesty if this is going to work. Kwon was quiet. Then, I promise. No more secrets. No more lies. Good. They fell asleep tangled together, two broken people who'd somehow found wholeness in each other. But outside the mansion, danger still lurked. Kwon's enemies hadn't forgotten about Erika. They were just waiting for the right moment to strike. And that moment was coming soon. 3 months had passed since Erika confessed her love. 3 months of passionate nights and dangerous days. She'd fully accepted Kwon's world now, the violence, the risk, the reality that every day could be their last. Kwon had become softer around her, more human. He smiled more, laughed more. His people noticed the change. Some approved. Others worried that love had made him weak. They were wrong. Love had made him lethal. Because now Kwon had something to protect. Something more valuable than money or power. He had Erika. They traveled to Miami for a business deal. Kwon had contacts there. Suppliers who moved his merchandise through the port. It was supposed to be a quick trip. 3 days maximum. On the second day, Kwon had meetings across town. Important ones he couldn't skip. Erika wanted to go shopping, see the city, stretch her legs. Take guards with you, Kwon insisted. I'll be fine, it's just shopping. Erika. His voice was serious. My enemies are still out there, please take the guards. She sighed. Fine, 2 guards, but they have to stay back. I don't want them breathing down my neck. Deal. Kwon kissed her deeply before leaving. I'll be back by dinner. Stay safe. Always. But safety was an illusion, because Kwon's enemies had been watching, waiting, planning, and today was the day they'd strike. Erika shopped at an outdoor mall, the Miami sun hot on her shoulders. The 2 guards followed at a distance, just like she'd asked. She was looking at jewelry when someone bumped into her. Sorry, the man said in accented English. No problem. Erika smiled and kept walking. She didn't notice the small pinprick on her arm, didn't feel the drugs entering her bloodstream. Not until 5 minutes later, when the world started spinning. She stumbled. The guards rushed forward, but more men appeared from nowhere. Fast. Professional. They grabbed Erika before she could scream. One guard tried to fight back. A gunshot echoed through the mall. The guard dropped. The second guard reached for his weapon, but it was too late. More shots. He fell too. Erika tried to run, but her legs wouldn't work. The drugs pulled her under. The last thing she saw was a black van, then darkness. Across town, Kwon's phone rang. His second-in-command, Sung-min. Boss, we have a problem. What kind of problem? The guards are dead. She's gone. For a moment, Kwon couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The world narrowed to those 3 words. She's gone. What do you mean she's gone? Someone took her. At the mall. Professional hit. They knew exactly when to strike. Kwon's vision went red. Pure rage flooded his system. Find everyone. I want every person in this city looking for her. Now. Boss, we don't know who took her. Then find out. Torture anyone who might know something. Burn this city down if you have to, but find her. He left the meeting immediately, not caring about the deal or the angry suppliers. Nothing mattered except Erika. His men mobilized instantly. Within an hour, they had 3 potential leads. Within 2 hours, they knew who was responsible: the Chicago organization, Kwon's oldest enemies. They'd taken Erika to an abandoned warehouse near the port. "How many men do they have?" Kwon asked, loading weapons into his car. "At least 20, maybe more." "I don't care if they have 100. We're getting her back." Sungmin looked worried. "Boss, this is a trap. They want you to come, want you angry and reckless." "Then they'll get exactly what they want." Kwon's voice was ice cold. "Gather everyone. We move in 1 hour." Inside the warehouse, Erika woke tied to a chair. Her head pounded from the drugs. Her vision was blurry, but she could see enough to know she was in trouble. Men stood around her, armed, dangerous, and in front of her stood someone she'd never seen before, a tall man with gray hair and a cruel smile. "Welcome, Miss Ankamo. I'm Raymond Park. I run the Chicago territory. And you're the bait that's going to destroy Kwon Dae-jung." "He'll kill you for this," Erika said, her voice hoarse. "He'll try, but he'll be emotional, reckless. He'll make mistakes. And when he does, I'll put a bullet in his head. Then you'll watch him die before I kill you too." Fear flooded Erika's system. Not for herself, for Kwon. Because Raymond was right. Kwon would come charging in, blind with rage, and he'd get himself killed. "He won't fall for this," she lied. "Kwon's smarter than you think." "We'll see." Raymond checked his watch. "He should be here any minute now." He was right. Outside, Kwon and 30 of his men surrounded the warehouse. He'd called in every favor, every ally, his entire Los Angeles crew and reinforcements from Seattle. "The moment we breach, they'll kill her," Sungmin warned. "Then we breach fast, hard. No mercy." Kwon checked his weapons one last time. "Anyone who stands between me and Erika dies. Clear?" "Clear, boss." They moved as one. Explosives blew the main door. Gunfire erupted instantly. Kwon moved through the warehouse like death itself. He shot without hesitation, without mercy. Men fell before they could even aim. Inside, Raymond heard the attack. "Bring the girl. We're leaving through the back." But Kwon had planned for that too. His men were everywhere, blocking every exit. Raymond's crew was trapped. Erika heard the gunfire, felt the building shake. Then Kwon appeared in the doorway, covered in blood, his eyes wild. When he saw her tied to the chair, something murderous crossed his face. "Let her go," he said quietly. Too quietly. Raymond held a gun to Erika's head. "Drop your weapon or she dies." Kwon didn't drop anything. Instead, he smiled, a terrible smile. "If you pull that trigger, you'll be dead before her body hits the floor, and I'll make sure it takes you hours to die. Days, maybe. I'll keep you alive just to make you suffer." Raymond's hand shook slightly. He wasn't used to people who didn't fear death. "I'll do it." "No, you won't, because you're a coward. You hide behind hostages instead of fighting like a man." The insult hit its mark. Raymond's face flushed red. His attention shifted to Kwon for just a second. Just long enough. Kwon shot him in the hand, holding the gun. Raymond screamed. The gun flew across the room. Kwon was on him in seconds, beating him with brutal efficiency. Fists, elbows, knees. He broke Raymond's nose, his jaw, his ribs. "Kwon, stop!" Erika cried out. "You're killing him." "That's the idea." But Erika's voice got through. Kwon stopped, breathing hard. Raymond lay unconscious and bloody at his feet. Kwon didn't care. He rushed to Erika, cutting her bonds with a knife. "Are you hurt? Did they touch you?" "I'm fine. Just scared." Kwon pulled her into his arms, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. His whole body shook. "I thought I'd lost you. I thought I was too late." "You saved me." "I almost didn't. Another minute and—" He couldn't finish the sentence. Sungmin appeared in the doorway. "Boss, we need to leave. Police are coming." They escaped before the authorities arrived. In the car, Kwon held Erika in his lap, refusing to let go. She felt his heart racing, saw the fear in his eyes that he couldn't quite hide. Back in their Vegas hotel room, they were both silent. Kwon paced like a caged animal. Erika sat on the bed watching him. The reality of what had happened was sinking in. She'd been kidnapped, almost killed, and Kwon had torn through an army to save her. "Come here," she said quietly. Kwon stopped pacing. "I need to make calls, make sure all of Raymond's crew is handled." "Kwon, come here." He obeyed, sitting beside her on the bed. Erika took his face in her hands. "I'm okay. We're okay. This time. But what about next time? What if I can't save you? Then you'll try anyway because that's who you are. I can't lose you, Erika. I won't survive it." "You're not going to lose me." She kissed him softly. "I'm right here." The kiss deepened, became urgent, desperate. They needed to feel alive, to prove they'd both survived. Clothes disappeared. They came together with intensity born from fear and relief and overwhelming love. Kwon was rougher than usual, more possessive, like he was reminding himself that she was real, alive, his. Erika met his intensity with her own, holding him close, whispering that she was okay, that she wasn't going anywhere. When they finished, they lay tangled together, both breathing hard. Kwon held her like she might disappear if he let go. "I love you," Erika whispered into the darkness. "I love you so much, it terrifies me. I love you more than life, more than anything. You own me, Erika, body and soul. Promise me we'll get through this, all of it. The danger, the violence, everything. I promise. As long as we're together, we can survive anything." Erika wanted to believe him, and in that moment, wrapped in his arms, she did. But deep down, she knew this was just the beginning, that more danger was coming, that loving Kwon Dae-jung meant accepting a life on the edge of a knife. But she'd made her choice. She was his, and he was hers, for better or worse, until the end. The Miami kidnapping changed everything. Kwon became fiercely protective. He doubled the guards, tripled security. But more than that, he started including Erika in his business. Not the violent parts, but the strategy, the decisions, the planning. "Why are you showing me all this?" she asked one night in New York, looking at financial documents spread across their hotel desk. "Because you're my partner, in everything. I want you to understand my world, know how it works, so you can protect yourself if something happens to me. Nothing's going to happen to you. You can't promise that. Not in this life." Kwon pulled her close. "But if you know how my organization runs, you'll have power, money, protection, even if I'm gone." The thought of Kwon dying made Erika's stomach turn. "Don't talk like that. We have to be realistic. No, we have to be hopeful." She kissed him firmly. "We're going to survive this, both of us, together." Over the next 3 months, Erika learned everything. She met Kwon's lawyers, his accountants, his legitimate business partners. She discovered that behind the criminal empire was a network of legal companies, restaurants, import businesses, real estate. "You're actually a businessman," she said, surprised. "Did you think I was just a thug with a gun?" Kwon smiled. "Violence is one tool, but money and strategy are better weapons. Most of my enemies don't even know how much power I really have." Erika began attending meetings with him. At first, the men didn't take her seriously, a pretty face sitting beside the boss. But Erika was smart. She asked good questions, made intelligent suggestions. Soon they realized she wasn't just decoration. She was Kwon's equal. In Los Angeles, she started learning to shoot. Kwon personally taught her, taking her to a private range. "Hold it steady, breathe, squeeze, don't pull." The gun kicked in her hands. The target's chest bloomed with a hole. "I did it!" Again, until it's instinct. They practiced for hours. By the end of the month, Erika could hit a target from 50 feet. She wasn't a professional, but she could defend herself. That gave Kwon peace of mind. Their relationship deepened in other ways, too. The physical connection between them grew more intense, more adventurous. They explored each other's desires without shame. In hotel rooms across the country, they lost themselves in passion that left them both breathless. One night in Boston, after a successful business deal, they celebrated with champagne. Kwon had closed a massive shipping contract that would bring in millions. He was electric with success and energy. To us, he toasted, and to the empire we're building together. To us. Erika drank, feeling the bubbles tickle her throat. I never thought my life would turn into this. Regrets? Not even one. Kwon set down his glass and pulled her close. Dance with me. There's no music. We don't need music. They swayed together in the quiet hotel suite, the city lights twinkling below. It was perfect. Peaceful. A rare moment of calm in their chaotic life. I want to give you something, Kwon said suddenly. What? He pulled out a small box, but it wasn't a ring. Inside was a key. This is to a property in Los Angeles, a restaurant space. It's yours, if you want it, to build that dream you told me about. Erika stared at the key, tears filling her eyes. Kwon, I can't accept this. Yes, you can. You're not my kept woman, Erika. You're my partner. This is an investment in your future, our future. But it must have cost a fortune. Money means nothing to me. You mean everything. He closed her fingers around the key. Build your restaurant. Make it the best in Los Angeles. Show the world what you're capable of. Erika threw her arms around his neck, crying happy tears. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anything for you. Always. They made love that night with tenderness and passion, celebrating not just the business deal, but their future, their life together, everything they were building. Afterward, lying in the tangled sheets, Erika felt different, strange. She couldn't explain it, but something had shifted in her body. 2 weeks later, she understood why. She'd missed her period. At first, she ignored it. Stress could cause that. But when the second week came with morning sickness, she knew. She took 3 pregnancy tests in the hotel bathroom while Kwon was in a meeting. All 3 were positive. Erika sat on the floor staring at the little pink lines, her mind spinning. She was pregnant. With Kwon's baby, a child conceived in violence and danger and impossible love. When Kwon returned that evening, he knew immediately something was wrong. What happened? Are you sick? Sit down. His face went pale. You're scaring me. I'm pregnant. For 5 full seconds, Kwon didn't move, didn't breathe, just stared at her like she'd spoken a foreign language. Then, what? I'm pregnant. We're going to have a baby. Kwon sat down hard, his legs giving out. Are you sure? 3 tests, all positive. He was silent for so long that Erika started to panic. Maybe he didn't want children. Maybe this would ruin everything. Say something, please. I'm going to be a father. Kwon's voice was filled with wonder and fear. I'm going to be a father. Are you happy or terrified? Both. Completely both. He pulled her close, his hand moving to her still flat stomach. There's a baby in there. Our baby. I know it's complicated, with your life, the danger. We'll handle it. We'll figure it out. Kwon kissed her deeply. We're going to be parents, Erika. We're going to have a family. The joy in his voice made Erika cry. Happy tears this time. I was so scared you wouldn't want this. Want this? I want everything with you. A baby, marriage, forever. All of it. Marriage? Kwon pulled back slightly. I mean, if you want, eventually, when you're ready. I'm not proposing right now because we're in a hotel room and you just found out you're pregnant and I don't even have a ring." Erika laughed through her tears. "You're rambling. I'm nervous." "The great Kwon Dae-jung is nervous about proposing? When it's to you, absolutely." He cupped her face. "I want to do this right. A proper proposal. Romantic. Something you'll remember forever." "I'd say yes, even if you proposed in a dumpster." "Let's aim slightly higher than a dumpster." They held each other, laughing and crying and planning a future that seemed impossible just months ago. A baby, a family, a life beyond the violence. But first, they had to survive, because Kwon's world was still dangerous, and bringing a child into it would make them all targets. "We need to be careful," Kwon said seriously. "My enemies can never know about the baby, not until we're ready." "How do we hide a pregnancy?" "We'll figure it out. We always do." Over the next weeks, Kwon became impossibly protective. He barely let Erika out of his sight. She had guards everywhere, the best doctors, everything money could buy. But more than that, he was tender, gentle. He talked to her stomach at night, whispering promises to their unborn child, promising to protect them, to give them a better life, to be the father he never had. Watching him like that, Erika fell even more in love. This dangerous, violent man had the softest heart, and he'd given it completely to her and their baby. "I love you," she whispered one night. "I love you more than I ever thought possible." "I love you too. You and our little one. You're my whole world." They made love carefully now, gently. Kwon was terrified of hurting her or the baby, but the connection between them was deeper than ever. Every touch meant more. Every kiss was a promise. Their empire grew. The restaurant plans moved forward, and secretly, quietly, they prepared for their baby, bought tiny clothes, painted a nursery in the mansion, built a life worth living. For the first time since his family died, Kwon had hope, real hope, that maybe, just maybe, he could have happiness, could build something beautiful from all the darkness. And Erika, who'd started this journey as a captive, was now a willing partner, a lover, soon to be a mother. She'd found home in the last place she ever expected, in the arms of a monster who'd become her everything. Hawaii was perfect, white sand beaches, crystal blue water, and complete privacy. Kwon had rented an entire private island for the proposal. Just him, Erika, and a handful of trusted staff. Erika was 4 months pregnant now. Her stomach showed a small bump. She glowed with health and happiness. Kwon couldn't take his eyes off her. "This place is incredible," she said, walking barefoot on the beach. "Why are we really here?" "You said it was business." "I lied." "About what?" Kwon took her hand, leading her to a spot where flower petals formed a path. Candles flickered in glass jars, protected from the ocean breeze. The sunset painted the sky in oranges and pinks. "Kwon, what is this?" He turned to face her, his heart pounding. For a man who'd faced death 100 times, nothing had ever scared him like this moment. "When I first saw you, I thought I wanted to possess you, to own you. I was wrong. I didn't want to own you. I wanted to become worthy of you choosing me." Tears filled Erika's eyes. "You're proposing." "Not yet. Let me finish." Kwon smiled. "You could have run 100 times. Should have run. But you stayed. You saw the monster in me and loved me anyway. You made me want to be better, to build something real. And now, we're having a baby. Creating life from all this darkness. You've given me everything, Erika. Hope, love, a future. So now I'm asking you to give me one more thing." He dropped to one knee, pulling out a ring. The diamond was massive, flawless, but the look on his face was what mattered. Vulnerable, hopeful, completely in love. "Erika and Como, will you marry me? Will you build this empire with me? Raise our children together, be my partner, my lover, my wife for the rest of our lives? Erika was crying so hard she could barely speak. Yes, yes, of course, yes. Kwon slipped the ring onto her finger and stood, pulling her into his arms. They kissed as the sun set behind them, the waves crashing on the shore. It was perfect. Exactly the romantic moment he'd wanted to give her. I love you, Erika whispered against his lips. I love you so much. I love you more than life itself. They spent that night in the beach house, making love slowly and tenderly. Kwon worshipped every inch of her body, the curve of her stomach where their baby grew, the fullness of her breasts. Every part of her was sacred to him. You're going to be my wife, he kept saying like he couldn't believe it. And you're going to be my husband, my baby's father, my everything. 3 weeks later, they married on that same beach. The wedding was small, just Sung-min and a few trusted people from Kwon's organization. Erika's mother and sister flew in from Zimbabwe, crying tears of joy. Erika wore a simple white dress that flowed around her growing belly. Kwon wore a black suit. They wrote their own vows. I promise to love you in the darkness and the light, Kwon said, his voice thick with emotion. To protect you and our children with my last breath, to be worthy of the gift you've given me, your trust, your love, your life. I'm yours, Erika, forever. I promise to stand beside you, Erika said, to be your partner in everything, to love you even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You saved me, Kwon, not from that club, but from a life without purpose, without passion, without this incredible love. I'm yours, and you're mine, forever. They exchanged rings, kissed as husband and wife, and everyone watching knew they were witnessing something rare, true love born from impossible circumstances. The wedding night was magical. Kwon had decorated their bedroom with flowers and candles. They made love as husband and wife for the first time, the connection between them deeper than ever. Mrs. Bond, Kwon Dae-jung, he whispered, you're really mine now. I was always yours, but now it's official. 5 months later, their son was born, a healthy 8-pound baby with Kwon's dark hair and Erika's eyes. They named him Tadiwa, which meant, we have been loved in Shona. Kwon cried when he held his son for the first time, actual tears streaming down his face. He's perfect, absolutely perfect. He looks like you, Erika said, exhausted but happy. He has your eyes. He's gonna break hearts. As long as he doesn't break laws. Kwon laughed. We'll see about that. Being parents changed them both. Kwon became even more protective, more careful about the risks he took. He started legitimizing more of his business, moving away from the violent side, building a future his son could be proud of. Erika's restaurant opened 6 months after Tadiwa was born. It became the hottest spot in Los Angeles. Critics raved about the food. Celebrities filled the tables. She'd achieved her dream. But more than that, she'd built a life, a family, with the man who'd stolen her and then given her the world. Years passed. Tadiwa grew into a smart, happy boy. They had a daughter 2 years later, Rudo, meaning love. Their family was complete. Kwon's empire evolved. He was less a crime boss now and more a legitimate businessman, still dangerous, still powerful, but different, better. One night, 15 years after that first meeting in the club, Kwon and Erika sat on their balcony. The city lights of Los Angeles spread below them. Their children were asleep. The house was quiet. Do you ever regret it? Kwon asked. That I took you that night. Erika thought about it. Honestly thought about it. I should regret it. What you did was wrong, unforgivable. But if you hadn't done it, I wouldn't have this life, this family, this love. So no, I don't regret it. Not anymore. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway. Kwon laughed and pulled her close. Best decision I ever made, kidnapping you. Worst method, best result. They sat in comfortable silence watching the city. Two people who'd found each other in the worst possible way, who'd built love from violence, who'd conquered each other's hearts completely. Their story wasn't conventional, it wasn't even entirely healthy, but it was theirs, and they wouldn't change a single moment, because sometimes love finds you in the darkness. And sometimes the person who steals your freedom gives you everything else: purpose, passion, family, forever. Kwon and Erika had all of that. They'd built an empire together, raised beautiful children, created a life worth living. And every night before they fell asleep, Kwon whispered the same words: "Thank you for staying. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for making me human again." And Erika whispered back, "Thank you for fighting for me, for showing me what real love looks like, for giving me everything." They'd conquered each other, claimed each other, and in the end, they'd saved each other. Their love story was complete, and it would last forever. If you loved this intense romance between Kwon and Erika, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another passionate story. Drop a like if you're rooting for this couple, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love hearing from our global audience.